Hello friends, hope you're doing well. In the series of data structure and algorithm, and as part of array nesting, we reached the 11th, I would say, part where we're talking about best time to buy and sell stocks. So, well, this kind of questions can be asked, and I think you should also be aware about it, even if it is not asked, right? Just for awareness and how to put the algo. So let's get started. So first, try to understand the problem. What is the business problem or technical problem is given here. So let's say you are given an array prices. You can imagine the price as you can see in the example 1, 7, 1, 5, 3, 6, 4. So they are the prices array. Okay, integer array to be specific. For a given stock, let's assume any stock X, and these are the different days. So let's say day 1 price is 7, day 2 is 1, day 3 is 5, day 4 is 3, day you know and so on, right? So they're the everyday price. Okay, you are given a task to maximize the profit by choosing a single day to buy and of course another day to sell in the future for sure. So in the for example, you're buying on day 1, that is price is 7, and of course if you sell the um, you know the next day, you're not supposed to sell on the same day, because of course you are not making any profit. In that way the price is same, price is assumed to be same throughout the day. Okay, in reality we know that is different, but in this question the price is assumed to be at least close, on the what is given there. So let's say you're buying on day 1 in a price 7, and you are selling on just next day itself. So let's say 1. So of course you're incurring a loss, -6. So of course you don't want to do that, and you want to maximize the profit. uh, and let's say we went to you didn't do on anything on day 1, so you went to day 2, and you saw the price drop suddenly, and then you basically you thought let's buy it. So let's say you bought on second day, and that is 1. Then of course you will see that okay, how the price is growing, and you want to maximize the profit, so you wait for the right day. So let's say you bought on second day with the price 1, and you're selling on the third day itself. So of course you will make some profit, and the profit is like 5 minus 1. So that is 4. Like that, you can also choose, let's say, the next day. Then of course in that day you will make 3 minus 1, profit 2. A day later, 6 minus 1, profit 5. And of course, again, if you want to wait more, you can make a profit 3, 4 minus 1, right? So like that you can imagine. So now, of course, for any given day, let's say you can't go back to buy. For example, you are in a day 3, you can't go back to day 1 and 2 to buy, because those are past. You can only sell, right? So on any given day, you're expected, if you're selling on any given day, you're assumed that you already bought the stock, right? And if you're in any day, you can't go back to buy for sure, right? The day is past. So this is how I would say the problem is, that you're basically given a task to maximize the profit for a transaction. If you can't make any profit, you will return 0. Of course, you won't be going for loss for sure, right? So, and of course you can do only one transaction, one buy transaction, one sell transaction. Assumption is that you will be doing on different days. And if you are selling something, it is assume that you bought in the previous days, right? So again, example 2, let's see. So 7, 6, 4, 3, 1. Um, so let's say first state itself is a 7, and then as you can see, the price never got kind of reduced. So somebody bought on the first day one, they are going to be, not making any profit for sure. So of course, in this case, profit is zero, right? Uh, in reality, they may be, they will hold or they will wait. But yeah, here you can say profit zero, right? Because there's no profit. Again, constraint on for a data type selection. So yeah, you can see that prices can go from 1 to 10 to power 5. And of course, any price can also, so length, basically the array length can be, 1 minimum, maximum can go 10 to power 5. And the price itself can be 0 and between 0 and 10 to the power 4. So yeah. Okay, so now we understood the problem. Now let's get going. Uh, so maybe we'll talk about a little bit more on the like solutions that we're going to discuss today. So the first approach, as always, we'll see that okay, it may not be efficient, the rudimentary approach, but comes first in mind if you're not thinking from a efficiency and kind of all those aspect. If you just want to get something done, so yeah, we'll have basically two cascade loop and a ON2 for sure. And if you think a little bit more, we'll figure it out that you can do with this with just one loop, and it's going to be more efficient. And you will be able to do that. Okay, so it's time for the code. Let's get going. Okay, so for that, follow my videos. We create a caller method from main program. In this case, you're calling test driver. So we're going to call, let's code it. So for a boilerplate kind of code where you are going to check the array size and you're going to ask the users to enter that, I'm just simply going to reuse the code just to save time. We'll focus on the core logic that you should be aware of. Right? So this code will basically uh, help you to, it will ask user that, hey, please tell us the number of number of elements in the array, and also the array itself, array number itself. So it will just, I would say, take the inputs from user, okay, so that you can dynamically get the data. And then course, yeah. So let's basically start creating the real method. So private static integer, we are going to return the profit. Let's name it as max profit. Okay. Or you can also write get max profit. Anything is fine. Let's write get max profit. And you're going to get integer array of prices, right? The prices that you were seeing, right, a while back. Okay. So now this is the first approach where we discussed that we'll have the rudimentary approach. So again, for that, what we're going to do is we're going to create of course few variable to manage. So let's create one variable max to keep the maximum profit. You can create and for difference between selling and buying prices. So you can say difference. So diff, let's say name it diff equal to 0. Now we got to have two different loops. So let's say for int I equal to 0, starting from zeroth positions, price dot length, and I plus plus. Then of course we got to have one more loop, j equal to 0. And think about it. The second loop we are having, because we can't buy to the previous day, the days past. So the second loop will have, we can only sell, right, if we bought today. So for that, j will start from I plus 1 from the next day, right? So here is a catch. J will start from I plus 1, and of course j will also go till the array length and j plus plus, right? Now think about it. So what we are going to do? So for a price, we got to have a minimum, right? So let's say you bought on the day 1. So from day 2, the j will have like from day plus 1. So day 2, if you're selling, how you find the difference? What's the price on day 2 minus price on day 1, right? So to have the exactly same thing, you can say difference equal to prices. Prices what you have, on, you need to have j first, because you're selling first, and selling minus buying is what you're going to do, right? And think about it. You're going to have the maximum price, maximum difference, right? So that you can get a maximum money out of it. So initially you are saying that difference is 0 for sure, but of course difference you will find max equal to, you are saying that okay, 0 again initially. But if you find the difference more than max, so let's say max is 0, but you find more than that, you suppose you find more differences, more gap, exactly that's what you're going to catch. So for that, what you can do, if the difference is more, max equal to diff. So what it will have all the time is, it will have all the time maximum. So maximum it will have all the time. So max variable will keep the max price, max difference. If the difference is more than max, so let's say you got a 2. So of course the initial difference will be 0. So 2 is of course more than 0. So it will come down here. It will assign 2 to max. Max will have its own. But let's say now difference you got 3. So 3 is more than 2 for sure. Then again the max will have the 3. So max will always have the maximum difference. And that's what you are eyeing for. And once you're done with all the loops, one done with this, and even with this loop as well, then what do you do? You're going to return the max, because that's what you are looking for, right? Okay, so we're done. Now let's see if it's working or not. We will get the same example. We'll call this also. So to call this, you can write something like this: console.write line and profit, max profit, and you can call like this in C sharp. Okay, what's wrong here? Get max profit. Yeah, should work. Get max profit, and here okay, there's a typo. Fine. So now what we can do is profit. Let's run this and see if it's working or not. So run. So basically, as you can see that we have used this two loops basically, and hence the complexity is bad. But yeah, we'll try to improve it. But it is the first thought that you get when you basically think about it, right? Simplest way, you just think about something getting done. So this is the first thing you can imagine that you have two loops and you find a difference and keep getting the max. So let's say we got a array size 6, and let's say we have example that we were seeing. I'll give the same example for the simplicity. Say day one price, then you have 1, then you have 5, then you have 3, then you have 6, and 4. And of course, in this case, you can see that the best proposition is that you buy on the day 2, and you sell on 3, 4, 5, day 5. So 6 minus 5, 6 minus 1 is a 5, is the max you can make it. The max profit is maybe 5 rupees or something, or dollar, or whatever, depending on which currency you're dealing with. Let's see. Oh yeah, you're getting 5, so it's working. Now let's get something done, the same thing with a better efficient approach, because nobody will like this two loops and O and 2, and it will fail also. It will exceed or time out and things like that. So it is something that can certainly be improved. Now let's do how to improve. So it is O and 2 for sure. Now let's make it better. And to make it better, what I'll do is I'll copy this here. I'll maybe say get max profit 2, and that will be fine. Okay, so you can say get max profit 2, and you can say here 2. Okay, let's try to, okay, some typo or something. Okay, get max profit. Okay, yeah. Of course it's not returning, so we need to return it. That's okay. So now for an efficient approach, think about it a little bit. So what we'll do is we'll have three counter, three variable. So again, we can give a better naming this time. So let's say we are saying sell price equal to 0. We can say buy price initially 0. So what we're going to do is, in the efficient approach, is the first day price we're going to assume it's a minimum, and then we'll discuss on how we're going to get that. So let's say get a minimum variable called minimum, and assign the first day price, right, whatever it is, to minimum. Assume that. Now what we're going to do is we're going to have, of course, one loop for sure. So one loop will go, and think about it. You already assigned or used the first element or member in the array already. So we are not going to start from I equal to 0, but rather I equal to 1. And of course we'll go price dot length and typical stuff. Now what we're going to do, so we're going to do as we were doing in the previous example, if you remember, we were doing a minus, right? Price is the j minus I. So again, here we only have one loop. So it was a basically buying price, if you see difference, right? So since we have a better naming here, so we'll say buy price. Buy price. What is buy price? Whatever we got, let's say on day 2, it is a day 2, right? I equal to 1 minus what you already have, the minimum, because minimum is a day 1 price, right? So buy price will basically, let's say we are buying on day 2. So what is the price? So we are saying that, okay, for the difference, so we are saying, or you can say cost, basically cost also we can say that whatever price you have on the second day, minus of course minimum. So we'll see that whether it's a minimum or not, because the the goal here is that buying on a minimum price and selling on a maximum price, right? Then only you will make a maximum profit. So we'll keep calculating this buy price. So let's say now here we are doing for day 2 minus of course minimum. Minimum is day 1. This minimum will also be keep changing every iteration, so that it is really a minimum, right? So you will keep resetting this minimum, and of course this I anyway getting resetted, right? Every loop, every time. So keep paying attention. So buy price logic is pretty much similar as we saw in the previous example, right? Now, what about sell price? Your goal is to sell, to the maximum, right? So you can say, you can use these libraries, math.max. What max you're saying about? Because this will keep changing. So whatever sell price you have right now, sell price is 0, but it's of course not max. And basically buy price, a difference, right? So whatever the difference is, the maximum difference you will get, you're going to sell on that, right? So you can you know instead of buy price, I think the better naming could be, you can say difference itself. Okay. So the maximum difference you will find in the price, uh, in the price between next day and the previous days, uh, and of course current will keep resetting every time. That is going to be your sell price. So the maximum difference that you will find is what going to be your or sell price, right? Now, as you said, the minimum will keep changing, because here minimum was initially the zeroth element. Now what you make sure is that the minimum is indeed keep minimum. Let's see, you got a better minimum in the next for the loops, right? So what you can use is again math library, math.minimum, right? What you can use it, of course minimum itself, and what minimum price of whatever price you are having, right? So if you find a better, uh, I would say more minimum price, uh, then you can choose that. So in the array, if you find okay, next element is minimum, right? So you will keep, I would say, resetting your minimum, your sell price, and wherever you find the max, basically um, max price. And I think you can also write this to max price. Sorry, you're going to have. So wherever you find the max price, you can keep basically having this, and towards the end, you can return this max price. So just a simple code, with just one loop, you can get the job done. Okay, hope you understood this. So we are just, I would say, we're simply using, I would say, math formulas to keep resetting it and finding the difference, and we can get it done in just one loop. Okay. Now let's see it is working. So we'll use the same example to see if it's working or not. So let's run. Okay, so size will keep the 6 same, and what we'll do is we enter the element. So we had 7, we had 1, we had 5, 3, 6, 4. We should be getting 5 again, and here we go, we're getting, so it's working basically. So it's working, and as you can see, the time complexity is and it is much better, and it will work for most, I would say, most times. So with that, we gone through these two approaches, and certainly you should use this efficient one. The code will be here, so you can, if you want to play around with code again, more, you can go and get that and play around with that. Again, thanks to these platforms who kind of help us with different problems so that we can solve it. Really appreciate their contributions in the community. And this is a bit about me. Again, if you want to be getting notified, you can subscribe to the channel and get notified for upcoming videos. Thanks for watching. Take care.